Some people look at Sonny Hayes. They see a guy who lives in a van, a gambling junkie who missed his shot, the best that never was. But I see possibility.
It's amazing to be talking to you. F1 the movie blew my mind. This is many things. It's an underdog story. It's a sports drama. Tell me a little bit about how you found your way into F1 the movie.
I mean, I've always been interested in racing and, machines, did my undergrad in mechanical engineering. So, was always kind of a project-oriented kid building cars, rockets, airplanes. So it's a world kind of suited to my interests. But it was that first season of Drive to Survive that kind of hooked me, because that season they focused on the last place team, the team that doesn't win every weekend, the rookie that's trying to prove himself in a car that's just not as fast as everyone else. And to me, that was a way into this world, telling the story of a team at the back of the grid and a racer who was once thought to be the next world champion that lost his way and gets one more chance to prove he belongs there. So that was kind of my way in from a story point of view, and then it was about building the ultimate team, around me to make it. And I think, luckily I was able to do that.
So in Maverick, you had 6 cameras inside the cockpit. I think when people watch F1, they're going to wonder how you got all the cameras in there, and they're swiveling around. Tell us about the technical challenges.
Yeah, so working with my cinematographer, Claudio Miranda, who also shot Top Gun Maverick, we wanted to take everything we learned and push it further. So the first thing we had to do is we had to take that camera system and miniaturize it, make it much smaller. So we worked closely with Sony to develop a whole new camera system, a third of the size, much lighter. Then we worked with Mercedes, a Formula One team, to design a race car that had 15 different mounting positions built into the chassis, had space for the camera recorders, batteries, transmitters, receivers built into the car itself. We were able to mount 4 cameras at a time in those positions, and then we developed a panning camera mount so that we could control the movement of the camera and move it left to right while we were shooting, which is, an innovation beyond anything we could do on Top Gun. But it allows us to connect the action to the actor and give you a perspective of what it feels like to be inside a Formula One race, and that was the challenge, Lewis gave me from the beginning.
How did you settle on Brad, and what was the pitch like? I mean, Brad has to drive this car. What if Brad can't drive?
Well, I knew that Brad was interested in racing, and he was at the top of my list for actors to play Sonny Hayes. I probably was 5 minutes into my pitch before Brad said he was going to do it, just because driving a real race car, going to real events, capturing it during race weekends, all things that he was up for doing. And it was, it's Brad, it's Lewis, it's Jerry. It's just building this team that we were able to kind of take around and land with Apple Studios.
How do you get the buy-in from F1? Because you just mentioned you're at these races, you're there live, you're recording, you're filming your movie in the middle of a race.
Yeah, well, luckily F1 is run by Stefano Domenicali, who is a man who I think has a real vision for the sport. And in our first meeting with him, instantly got what we were going for. We also showed him Top Gun Maverick, just to show him, what it meant to capture it for real versus, doing it CGI. So he understood the vision and opened the doors for us, and all the teams and drivers embraced us as the 11th team on the grid for 2 years and made space for us and provided their feedback and expertise. And without that participation and collaboration, we wouldn't have been able to make it the way we did.
Brad and Damson are driving these cars. They're going 180 miles an hour. How did you keep this all together? How did you keep it from not falling apart?
Well, luckily they're both very talented athletes naturally, and that's a big part of it. And then, given even that great starting point, they had 3 months of intense training. Working their way up from sports cars to Formula 4, Formula 3, up to these modified Formula 2 cars that they're driving in the film. They're going 180 miles an hour. They had great training. It was still nerve-wracking, as we were shooting it, because one mistake can mean you spin off the track. But they're just, they're both professionals. They had a great team around them, and luckily we made it through.
The only question here is, Why did Sonny Hayes come back to F1?
I think it's really wonderful that Apex are giving second chances to the elderly.
It's all right. You're just worried I'm quicker than you.